up, y'all, to the channel. First ever video filmed on the channel. Right here we got my one of the personal trucks of the channel, my first ever truck actually, 2003 Powerstrokes 6.0. So what we'll be doing to this is the oil cooler delete, the bypass, and EGR delete. I got a little late to the shop, so what we have done to it currently right now, I'm sorry I wasn't able to film all this. We have the turbo, all the charge pipes, air intake, injector harness. That's what we have off for now. Sorry I wasn't able to film it, but the rest will be filmed in this next part coming up in the video that I have. But yeah, everything's off. We got the EGR delete with the bypass, and then the oil cooler is in this package. So let me get to it. So right here we're unscrewing the diesel and the oil filter housing. It's we're gonna take it off to put it to the side so we have easier access to the oil cooler. Right now we're unscrewing them.
T45.
A T45 starbolt. In other words, a 4. You do have to take this off to reach the oil cooler. How many bolts? 4. You do have to take off 4 bolts to reach it.
Yeah, that's off already.
You just wiggle it around until it slides off. And if it is a little hard, just try to get something to lever it. Don't forget to take off that. It's just a pipe that screws onto the diesel filter itself.
Give me a flag.
Alright?
Yeah.
And if you miss the pipe on the other side, there is another one on this side.
It's actually 3 you have to remove. Well, when you guys struggle, you guys won't have none of these. But this is some human breaknecking, something like that.
The installation this one isn't as professional, but it should be how it looks like. It should have a total of 3 connected to the system.
Actually 4.
A total of 4.
Feeding, 4 fuel lines, and 1 for each head.
Yeah, I heard it.
Okay.
You pop it off. To make your job easier, you just pop it to the side if you can.
Please don't mind the red
Right there, if you have a lot of oil, that means it could be leaking.
high pressure oil.
It could be leaking out of the high pressure oil pump, so
Or your turbo return.
Or your turbo return is leaking too, so you would want to check that out.
We're removing the EGR pipe. We're gonna be removing these 2 screws right here, and we're gonna give a little whack to the pipe right there. So like that, where the J pipe is gonna go, we're gonna have a little bit of room there, and we're gonna be able to remove the intake manifold right now. All right, all of these bolts are gonna be 10 millimeters. You wanna remove every single one, and make sure you loosen all of them up. Remember, when you're gonna put this back up in here, don't tighten it with an impact. Tighten them by hand, like that you don't strip the bolts. Nope, you got strip bolts, means no boost. No boost, 6 blow. Alright, for the tighter spots, we're gonna use this is a ratchet.
You would want one of these for the type bolt you can't reach yourself in the back.
Esa no hay que quitarlo, sí. That should do it.
Always remember to try to get the wiring harness out of the way so you don't ruin a cable or anything like that.
Alright, so now we're going to be removing one of the hardest screws that we have right here. They're going to be these two up here. They're behind the fan straw right here.
You can't really see them, but they should be in that little hole right there.
Right there. You put the socket in first, and then you figure your way of having a small little ratchet. Just a little one. This one should do the trick. Alright. Dame una 16. 16. Alright. This is a sheet trick. Cheating.
A cheat bar.
Yeah.
Also remember, we are a shop, so we do more than just local working.
We also learning how to do YouTube, so not
Yes,
professionals.
This is one of our first ever videos, so we're just starting off.
Our first ever video.
Oh, it is. Oh, for a while, yeah. We won't just be working on 6.0s. Most likely we will have other trucks coming onto the channel, but for now, most of us own 6.0s.
Yeah, we're gonna have a little bit of content on the 12 valve coming soon. We'll be doing a little bit of stuff. Probably a manual swap or something like that. I don't know yet.
Where's the other boat location?
Right here. On these models, this is an 02, I mean 03, 04, and it will have the throttle body. Some of these newer models, 05 and up, won't have this throttle body in here, so you will have a little better access to the boat. Like I said, it's a pain in the ass. Alright, we're gonna use the sheet bar again.
If you have two people assisting, it would be better and get the job done quicker.
Alright, done.
But you can still do it by yourself with time. Most likely soon we will have a video on just to do how to do a blade turbo swap, how to change the spindle. So we look forward to it.
Alright, so now should be loose now. Remember, we gotta give it a little whack here. Or use a pry bar to loosen up the J pipe. Ya está. Loosen up. Dale, pull it up a little bit. Has these sides loose already. Alright, this right here, we gotta bend that back a little bit. Loose pliers. Bend this tab a little bit up. I need a magnet to stick it out.
So if you do feel like your intake is stuck, it's most likely the bolt didn't come all the way out.
Probably stuck.
So just double check it. not just gently pop out the inside without breaking or snapping.
So one of us is going to be taking care of the harness, and the other is going to take care of removing this carefully. You don't want to break anything. And usually, because this is an old truck, all the wire and harness are like a little toasty. No fun. We're going to have to vacuum all of these up. We don't want no trash inside there. But
yeah, just be careful when pulling it out. You don't get any debris, any dust, any. You see, for example, you see all the leaves. Try to avoid that. Always just have a vacuum or a rag on site.
All right, get the vacuum.
So right here, we're vacuuming off the debris. You might not be able to hear due to the sound of the vacuum, but just try to get all the debris, the dust, anything that can possibly damage the engine out of the way. Most likely, we'll make the video together, but we'll see if the lights come off, so we'll be leaving the truck like this for today. If you can, just repeat the steps like he's doing. Just, ensure that everything's going to be fine, that everything's going to be clean. Not all these trucks are always clean due to their age. So trucks we're working with.
Alright, so now we're going to be removing the EGR cooler pipe. We're going to have a 11 millimeter. We're going to use a deep socket. Loosen it up to remove that clamp. With this kit that we got for the EGR delete, we're going to be using the same clamp. So don't throw that away. Make sure not to strip the threads and keep it nice looking. Alright, as soon as we remove this, we're going to have to remove these two bolts. Or not even. We might be able to just use a flathead and just pull all these back. We're going to be removing all these. And we're going to be installing the J-pipe. It all depends what kit you get. Some kits come with the block off plate right there, and some kits come with a whole new pipe for the back. Yeah, that's one thing you're gonna need. You're gonna need a pry bar to pry these things off.
A pry bar and a partner, or a buddy if you got one.
Yeah. Alright, like I said, a flathead screwdriver, you stick it in between the pipe and this cooler right here, and it should slide back. Like so. See, it already slide back a little bit. Slide it back a little bit. And you wiggle it. There it goes. Right there. Make sure everything's clear right here. You don't have no carbon built or anything. So that you have a nice seal whenever you put the delete plate in there. That's it. We're gonna go ahead and use the back again, keep cleaning. And make sure, now we're gonna do it, we haven't done it yet. We're gonna use rags, chop rags, and throw them in every single hole. Because you don't want no screws, no washers, nothing to fall in these holes. If not, all the job you're doing, it's gonna be useless.
As my buddy John was saying, this is the EGR cooler delete. Personally, I like this kit myself because it's more of a plug and play. It's much easier. This just plugs into the pipe itself, less vibrations, and I like the quality more. This is more of a screw on instead of clamped on. So yeah, I'm gonna be showing now when we install it. And like I said, you could use whatever kit you like. Personally, I like this kit, but there's many more out there for sale, different prices, different qualities, but it's just personal preference.
All right, if you guys are going to be installing this kit we got, it's going to have two different sizes. It's going to have like a little flat surface, and on the back it's going to have like a little step down. The step down is going to go towards the exhaust, and this is going to be going towards the front of the cavity of the truck.
The smoother side goes towards us.
Yes, like that will clamp down a little better, and the cam will just tighten it down and push it against the pipe. On this case, we didn't have the original gasket going in there, so we just throw a little bit of silicone in there. That shouldn't hurt it. If you don't like silicone, don't do it. You do whatever you do.
It might be a little bit of a hassle to put in, but like we said, These aren't brand new trucks.
All right, it's in there. So you want to put your clamp the easiest way that you can put a socket in there, and it doesn't be in the way of anything. So right here, it shouldn't hurt anything. You want to tighten it. Make sure there's no leaks there. Make sure the clamp seat all the way, and you feel the back too. Feel that it's sitting.
Remember, if it does leak, you're gonna be having less boost.
Yeah.
You'll also be able to tell if it leaks when you test drive it. You don't feel as much
Or
power.
if you see on the back of your exhaust, you're gonna have like a whole spot of black dust in there. You're gonna feel it. Trust me. And these clamps, you don't want to tie them too much because they're fine thread, and you spin the thread on these things. So you tighten it, snug it a little bit, and that shouldn't go anywhere. All right, that should do it for that part. The other part, we're gonna be installing on the intake manifold. I'll show you how it's done in a minute. All right, so now we're gonna be removing the oil cooler housing. We're gonna use a 10mm for a small extension. Remember, you can use the impact to remove them. Don't use the impact to put them back in. Alright. Sometimes the impact don't work.
If they do end up tightening them too hard, just use a wrench to avoid the possibility of snapping.
I'm gonna just go ahead and loosen all of them up, and I'll finish removing them with the impact. Okay.
How many is the total of bolts there should be?
It's gonna be quite a few.
Remember, gently remove them so you don't snap the bolt. There should be bolts all around it.
Yes, sir. All right. Give me a new battery for this one. Más chiquitito.
No, you got the battery. Or the
Puede que se vea.
them now.
Right. And as the channel keeps growing, guys, you guys should say if we should do videos in Spanish or English. And now we have a little bit of more, how do we say it?
Yeah, more variety of watchers, you know. We try our hardest to make these. We try our hardest to make these tutorials as easy as possible.
Alright, so now we're gonna cover this hole up. This is gonna be your turbo return like hole in there. Before you guys remove this housing, make sure you have a pan under the truck. If not, you're gonna make a big mess. All the oil from here is gonna leak down to the side of the transmission.
You can use a pan or either a bucket, whatever works for you.
Whatever you do.
Or try to do it on some gravel or something that won't stay.
Here's the mess. Here we go. Alright. Yeah, we can just let it leak. We got the pan over there. Just make sure it's catch water. Okay. Okay, I got it right here. The best thing you can do is just have a fresh oil change ready to have the truck reservice. We're gonna remove all these right here. This is the gasket.
If you did purchase an oil cooler, it should come with all
new gaskets.
All brand new gaskets.
Okay, so now we're gonna be removing the oil out of the valley. In this case, we're gonna be using our jet ski oil pump. You can use whatever you guys have. You can use a rag, suck it down, or you can use one of the little transmission filler pumps. That'll work as well.
It's preferable you get all the oil out so you can work easier and better when it's clean. And like you stated, you would want to service, say, a brand new diesel filter, brand new oil filter, do a change of fluids if you're already here, you know. For example, this oil that you can see, it's really dark, and in a way, it's sort of milky if you can't tell.
Yeah.
So
it was mixing with coolant.
it was mixing with coolant, so that's what it makes it look
And then
like
after
that.
this, we're gonna have to do a radiator flush.
Yeah, if you do not get a brand new radiator, we're gonna teach you how to do a radiator flush so you can save a couple bucks.
The cheap way and safe way at the same time.
Yeah, because sometimes it's just minor, and you could just flush it instead of buying a new one. We'll get back to y'all when it's drained. Okay, now that it's fully drained, just grab the dirtiest rag or any rag you have, clean all the excess off, and you have brake cleaner, even better, but just watch out you don't get into any of the holes.
I just want to dry all the oil. I'm gonna use the vacuum again.
Now that you're here, it's just better because you know you're doing everything at once. This type of access could cause future problems that you probably do not want. You would not want to take off this all again. Right here, right now, we're just scraping all the access off of the old gasket. It leaves,
silicone.
it leaves sort of a glue residue behind, but that's just due to the heat. We'll get back to you when we're done scraping. So right now, we're just vacuuming them down. It's just, we said we were gonna get back when we're done, but we're just showing that. This is the second part you could do. It's just to leave it really clean. Now, like I said, now that you're there, might as well just do it. We're gonna get back to you when we're done vacuuming.
Alright guys, we're here now cleaning in the oil cooler housing to see, make everything look clean. So that way we can see where it's leaking from after we put the oil cooler back. So we just use a brush with diesel on the bucket. And you brush it down. This is the top part where the oil filter goes. Alright, after that you want to spray it with air in the hose. Alright, we got the first part done. Now we're gonna do the bottom part. Alright, this part is gonna take a little bit longer more to clean up. But we're gonna come back when I got everything to clean up.
Okay guys, so you guys remember, so it doesn't happen to you the same thing that happened to me. Always remember to put the two little O-rings that go in there on the bottom part. I already put everything back together. I had to take it apart again because I forgot to put the little O-rings in the middle. On the back, on the bottom where you put this gasket, just one. Don't forget it. Now put everything back on. Okay, so now we are here with the oil cooler. We've already put all the O-rings and gaskets on the parts of the bottom part. Here's the other part.
Entonces, ¿qué dice la gente buena? Así no fue como te enseñó papá. ¿Tú le enseñaste así? Entonces, caballero, estoy en el grupo ustedes que me van a regalar que ya tengo un 6-0.
Yeah, hit the Hawk 2. Oh yeah.
Como que no sabes que con salivita el rato.
Si supiera.
Give me a 413.
Lubrication.
It's true. Doesn't kill que caiga ahí, queda delicado. Randy.
And now we're gonna put the top basket for the bottom. Put this part there.
Esto es lo que se está haciendo, pero nomás que abajo yo creo que ya.
Uy, sí, uy, sí.
Es asiento ahora, nomás que te lo pongo. Alright, so now, like I said before, we're going to be removing the high pressure oil pump housing. And we're going to be changing the gasket, everything. So, I already have this pre-loose already. Alright. So, whoever did this before, use a lot of silicone. No gasket, just silicone. So, I'm going to have right there clean that up for me. But I'll go ahead and clean all this surface right here. We shouldn't have no silicone in here, guys.
You can use either or to clean. You can use diesel or degreaser. Either works. Just try to get it shiny.
The least silicone that you can let to fall inside there, the better. And that's it. Now we gotta clean all this mess. Whoever made this thing before.
We'll get back when we're done.
All right, we'll get back when I get all these things cleaned up to get ready to be put back together. All right, guys, we're getting ready to throw the high pressure oil pump housing back on. Like I said, these things take no silicone, just the O-ring that goes all around. It only has one position of going. It has no other way of going. We're gonna go ahead and throw that on, screw the bolts by hand, and we'll go from there.
Where's that from?
This?
What is that? No, what is that little thing?
This goes right here. That's for the
dents. The dents.
It?
Little.
Te digo, este chamaco, hacer me aparte el cerebro, loco. Esos nosotros somos mecánicos de Hialeah, vivo. All right, you put a little bit of pressure on it. Make sure the O-rings inside here are lined. They're all clear and they're not torn apart. If not, you will have no oil pressure. All right, I'm gonna just go ahead and start threading all these screws by hand. Make sure to line them up.
Allá atrás, tu capito ese. Allá hay un tornillo. Lo tenía puesto, ¿no?
No, ahí no tenía nada.
Después de este video tengo que poner yo. Esto es más.
I'll tener que encontrar el otro más. Like this, because we was missing one in the
One
back.
on the back, right? All right. Put that one on there on the back.
I'm gonna use this one from here and put it on the back.
Well, let me see if I can find one.
Here, take this one. I'm gonna use this one right here. Oh shit. No parece ese de ahí. No sé. Alright, now we got all these snug by hand. Right there went to look for another bow because we was missing one. I'm gonna try to take care of that. And I'm gonna go ahead and start targeting them down and we'll go from there. Alright, let me try this one and see what's happening.
Sure.
Too short, yeah, a little longer.
Good morning, guys. Here it is, these old cousins. We're here the next morning. We're finishing the 6.0 of Emmanuel's. We're gonna put the manifold in right now. We already put the whole
We laid down the gaskets, we laid down the big old O-ring for the water, put a little bit of silicone in there. That's the only place that you guys should have silicone on. All the rest of the stuff is regular gaskets. You tie them down, and if the gaskets are good, you're gonna have a nice seal.
Okay, so here it is. Here's what he was talking about. This thing right here. This is the only thing should have silicone, because to seal the intake, the air that comes through there. Here's the oil filter, diesel filter thing on. Your gaskets, the cover of the oil pump is on. All the gaskets are good. No silicone on the oil pump. Remember, no silicone at all. Just the what do you call that shit?
Rubber O-ring.
The rubber O-ring, and that's it. We're gonna put now the intake manifold in there. It's a little bit tricky, but you get in there. Make sure your wires are not under the intake manifold or anything. After you put it in there, you can double check the O-rings with the manifold, the blue O-rings that you see over there. You can double check that when you put it in. We'll let you know when we put everything where it's supposed to be and tie it down. We'll show you the next part.
Well, guys, we're here putting everything back together. I hope the truck turns on and everything. Young, you just put the intake back on.
All the charge pipe, everything's done.
Everything is put back together. We just done the oil change too. New oil, new filter. Now we see if it turns on.
Alright, let's give it a try.
Cross fingers. Woo! There it is. You're alive.